Welcome to another unboxing. This is another one in the series of a game that I've owned for a while. This was actually my very first Kickstarter ever. Probably longer than that. Was it? I'm thinking 2017, honestly. Sonic Battle Races. This company isn't around anymore. Shinobi 7. They changed the name, a lot of the staff went somewhere else, and yeah. Anyway, this has some really amazing miniatures. We'll start with the one and only Sonic the Hedgehog. No, I've loved Sonic since I was a little kid. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are the same. A little bit of green on the mouth and stuff. I might even touch that up. But yeah, the miniatures themselves are really, really cool. Even just having this to put the characters on display, if I could, I really would. There's a lot of characters here. We got Silver. If you know anything about Sonic, he's a time traveler. Metal Sonic. Mecha Sonic, if you will. We got Shadow. Now, I am curious to how people, which of the names they call him. Either Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman. One being basically from the east and the other one being from the west. I kind of like both, to be honest. And then we've got Supersonic. A special stretch goal character, that one. This box is a Kickstarter exclusive box. I'm not even entirely sure if this is retail. I don't know. I've never seen it. But there are components in here that are stretch goals and Kickstarter exclusive components. So be warned if you do somehow manage to find the retail of this and think, oh, these characters, where are those characters and stuff. Yeah, you won't find them like this. I do believe the base characters is, your Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. I think there's an expansion for like Biggs, the Croc of some of the female characters. But yeah, unless you find this secondhand, you won't get everything. Which is a shame, because yeah, the models themselves are pretty cool. This happens a lot. This is what happens when you don't really plan storage properly. So these are character cards. Each character has a special ability. This is where your rings that you collect, plastic rings. You just kind of sit them there, stack them. But if you got the Kickstarter version, you get these little things. So you use these to store the rings, put them on there, which is super useful. But again, I'm not entirely sure if some of these components you're going to be able to get. Again, because it's Kickstarter. So I ended up getting a second bag of rings, just cause. I also got a second bag of rocks, so you put the rocks on the track, just to make it more authentic, because extra rocks is always good. And then you get all the bad nicks and everything, the enemies. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple out for you to have a look at. Just much better than putting a cardboard token onto the track. Actually got little plastic miniatures, and they interact differently as well when you run into them. Some you can't run into, some you can't jump over. You'll have to go around them or kind of thing. If you've played Sonic, you'll... Oh, sorry about the camera. Yeah, if you played Sonic, you'll know what these are. You've seen them before. I'm not going to go through and paint these. I have so much to paint. So little time. The crabs. So these ones you can't jump over because they reach to claw. They're basic, but they work. You know they are, and they're cool. Right, so it is kind of like a racing game, because it is Sonic. So it indicates on the map where you place rings. Line your characters up, and then what you do is use a series of cards. Get so you take this out. So get a bunch of cards, shuffle them, and then this is your hand. So you can use this, and when you play it, it's whatever the highest card goes first. So this one says spin, and then you can move 3 speed. So your speed being spaces you can move. Spinning gives you ability to actually destroy an enemy if you run into them. Otherwise, when you're moving, you'll have to dash to move side to side, and that obviously uses space. So if there's there's a bad guy here, and you're here, so 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and you don't have the spin ability, so you'd go 1, 2, 3, and that's that. Excuse me. So there's a bunch of cards. There are cards in here which are also special boss cards for when you're versing some of the bosses, and they all have their own special deck, which just changes the level slightly, puts extra spikes out, or changes the track in some way or form, kind of thing. Yeah, every boss has their own thing. Just some of the other character cards. Then you've got your boss cards. So I believe their intention was to release these 4 characters as individual packs that you could buy separate. But I don't know if that ever happened because the company went away. Blaze, SPO, Jet, Charmy, Cream, Omega, Vector, Big, Knuckles, Sonic, Infinite. So we've got Sonic Bag. What's in there? Oh yeah. The cardboard tokens. See? These are boring. Why would you have these? I hate cardboard components. So I just put them into the bag, piss them off out of the way. So you start up a finish line, you start line and a finish line, and they're always the same. Little tokens. These are the boss track variant editions. Reference how things work, different levels. But these here, these are the actual tracks. Now, because it's a Kickstarter, you'll notice that remember in Sonic there was zones, essentially like different maps. So that's what's in here. So that's all one zone. You've got another. You can see too the direction, like you'll bounce off those, and these will push you in a direction, and these will make you go back. These are elevated, so it's elevation by 2, so it takes 2 extra spaces to get up on top. I think unless you use the jump ability or the spin ability, and then it decreases by 1. Spikes. Now when in Sonic, if you remember, when you got hit, you would lose all your rings. And the same works with this game. If you get hit by a friendly, by another racer, the way you do it is wherever you land, you place the rings behind you from left to right. So the next person that comes behind can collect the rings as you go through. Which is pretty bloody nasty, actually. More levels. Look at that. Just spikes everywhere. And then these are your standard. So I should be holding it this way. And these are your normal tracks. So a bit of water, that'll slow you down. So your speed reduces by 1. They're not double-sided either. Reason for that is when you're picking these, you actually take them and you shuffle them, and then you pull that out and that's the track. That's how it works. Because at first when they explained that it was only going to be one side, I was kind of mad because you could create more tracks and more variety, but because you've got to shuffle them. But in saying that though, I'll just keep these 2 out for a sec. Just quickly go through those. Check this. That's how many tracks I have. It's almost the thickness of my thumb. You know how hard this is to bloody try and shuffle this many as it is? So, I don't know. That's how they work, at least anyway. And these are the corners. So you attach one track here. Actually, I'll just grab a piece of track and show you. It's easier. There you go. So when you move along, you go into your lane. You can stay in that lane. Actually, I think you do. I think you've got to stay in that lane when you do it. Yeah, so one end through, turn around, and then another turn around, and in the end. So it's a big S. The person with the most coins wins. Right, some of the track modifications. So these add an elevation of level. These ones, you can also put them over if there's a part in the map. If I can find one, here you go. So if there's a part in the map that has a bunch of spikes, it covers the spikes or the water, and then it just becomes a normal or an elevation. That's how those work. And then you've got big spike pits. So when you put those out, there you go. That whole section is now spikes. It covers over just any of the abilities and everything else on the track. Extras, and then more of those. So these are these are infinities. Extra ones: oil, slick, water, spikes. And that's an elevation. But yeah, so that's Sonic. A game you may or may not have heard of. Honestly, I would probably say you haven't heard of this, simply because it turns out not everyone that backed the Kickstarter actually received their copy, which is quite sad to read because it is a great game. Well, no, I can't say it's a great game. The mechanics and stuff are kind of a little bit basic, but the figures themselves are pretty decent for what we paid for this, yeah, there's enough here that it's a good game. But yeah, anyway, enough of that. Hope you enjoyed. If you managed to find this or you have this, leave me a comment and let me know if you do enjoy the game or if you don't. Okay, all right, thanks for watching.